But
I think
I
we're bringing him
think
back regardless, though.
I think what it is I think, you know what I'm saying, he got a $17 million cap hit this year. We owe him 26 over the next 2 years. Why don't you just guarantee him them next two, that the whole 26 over the next two, just guarantee him 13 every year?
Makes sense.
I thought he didn't want to take the pay cut, though. That was the problem. He wanted a new deal with the same type of money, though. He wanted a new deal still at 17.
Yeah, I think the extension talk was not really more about a raise. Just he wants to, to guarantee money to be there. But we just went live on YouTube.
Because he really after that, after that 17 cap, like his money none of his money is guaranteed money. So that's what he really looking for. That's why he say, I love that money, because he know more, that I love that money, that Philly money, because he know most likely he gonna get that guaranteed money up front. He gonna get that before he play a game. That's why he like that. And believe you me, that right there, that does a whole lot for the wife at home not saying shit when you got an extra couple million just already at your disposal before you even expect it. So
yeah, I hear that. But look, so let's get back into the conversation. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button. If you want to come in and chop it up, you got to click the link in the description. Come through and let's talk birds. But today, the big news, I think, it's been reported the last couple hours, last day or two, that the Eagles are still trying to make a push for CJ Gardner-Johnson. That is something that us as fans believe has to be made. Not saying we'll get him, but you can't just not try. But today we hear more of the big play Slay trade rumors to Atlanta, to other teams. There's some stuff in the works. We might hear about it tomorrow, according to some sources, you know what I mean? But James Bradberry being told by the Eagles to keep the door open, in a sense that, go ahead and see if you get a call from the Panthers, you get a call from the Cardinals, you get a call from these other teams that are inquiring about your services, just hit Philly's line before you sign. That to me makes me think Howie Roseman has to know kind of what James Bradberry's market value is. So my thing is, I know somebody's about 16 million market value, and I know I don't have 16 million. Why am I going to tell you to call me?
You're not going to say, call me back. You know what I mean? If I know I ain't got it.
so Howie definitely got to know that, at least an estimate of James Bradberry market value. And if you're telling me to call you before you sign with any team so I can match, because, Bradberry will probably want to stay in Philly. He had one of his best years in Philly. That makes me think that CJ Gardner-Johnson, listen, I don't want to let Slay go, but if you're telling me we can get a second or third round pick, which I don't understand how it would be a second unless we gave some other stuff up, like Smitty Eagle said before we went live on YouTube, because we just saw Jalen Ramsey go for a third. You know what I mean? He's younger. But I don't want to give Slay up, but if you're telling me moving Slay gives us more capital and we get Bradberry and CJ back, that's big
Mike,
move.
though, look, if you really look at what they got for Jalen Ramsey, they really got a second. They got a young tight end and a third round pick.
Yeah, I forgot the tight end was going in here too.
So I mean, we got a chance to get a second, I believe.
Yeah, really we do, because we do got a chance to get it now that I think about it, because if you really look at it, Slay had a much better year this past year too.
Yeah, and I heard we willing to take most of his cap hit.
That's true. That's crazy, because look, when we were talking free agents the whole last 2 weeks, James Bradberry was not on my radar as a guy the Eagles were going to get back because of CJ Gardner-Johnson being the top priority, because Bradberry being a little older, because that 16 to 17 mil number has been thrown around as his market value. But again, Howie Roseman is Howie Roseman, and you don't tell him to call me. Now, I'm not saying we guarantee to get Bradberry back. I think that is, based off what happens with Slay, if we can't get the extension money worked out. But Bradberry back is a very interesting topic. And if I had to ask you guys right now, what would you rather do? Who would you rather have back, Bradberry or Slay? Let's just pretend CJ is automatically coming back, right? Let's pretend. If it was like we move on from Slay and sign Bradberry, or we keep Slay and don't sign Bradberry? Where y'all feelings on that?
I'll take Slay over Bradberry, but I know Bradberry had a great year. It's like real close, but to me, Slay got that I don't know, that moxie, if that's what you want to call it. He played with a little edge. Like Bradberry is good too, but I see him at the one.
I really, with me, I would take Slay back too, because it's just something about Slay. You just see that dog in him every time he on the field. Regardless, he mess up on the play, that next play, he coming back, he still got that dog in him where he coming and attacking at you. So I really never really got that whole vibe from Bradberry. I mean, granted, yeah, he would mess up, he would make up for it every now, but I never really got that whole vibe that, like, you know, every play mattered to him.
Yeah, you know, there's just something about Slay. And again, you know, people were going to say he fell off again at the end of the season a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to argue that he didn't.
When people say that, I kind of laugh at that, because I'm sorry, the numbers don't add up if you look at it.
Well, no, I won't say fell off as bad.
Gave up 100 yards was the second game to the second game of the Commanders to Terry McLaurin. That's it. Everybody else was under 100 yards. Barely gave up touchdown. Like, come on now. People talk about him. He fell off. He overrated. Come on, man. I don't buy into that.
I won't go to say overrated, but I will say that his first, the first 8 games were better than the second 8 games on his status. What I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying he fell off in the sense of he went from being this good to now this good. I'm just saying that he played his better football in the first half. He ain't giving nothing up. I mean, that game against Justin Jefferson shows you the ability of Slay. I mean, Justin Jefferson won the Offensive Player of the Year for a reason, and Slay had him locked up. I agree. Bradberry had a great year. I don't know if he can stay at this level, though. I think it was, you know, he had a lot of opportunities, though, because Slay wasn't even getting target like that. So I do respect everything that Bradberry's done.
It's a lot easier for us to say Bradberry had a good year like that. He was basically guarding the number 2 receiver all year.
True.
I told you, I seen him at the one last year. We seen him at the one last year at the Giants. He was getting toasted, barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was guarding the 2 all year this year. So, I mean, that's why I say I would take Slay back, because no matter what, you can put him on a team's number 1 receiver, and he may not shut him down completely, but he's going to limit the access over that in that direction.
You know, all I know is that it would be crazy with all these reporters coming out about how broke the Eagles are, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. If we end up, like I said, I don't believe we'll sign Hargrave, and there's been no reporting on Hargrave coming back, and I just don't see that happen at that 20 mil number. But imagine if we do work out an extension with Slay, and he somehow, some way, you get Bradberry, CJ under contract. That'll be just some masterfulness by Howie Roseman. If you ask me how that's going to be done, I have no clue whatsoever.
That'd be no T.J. Edwards, no Kazir White, though.
Yeah, that would be definitely no T.J. Edwards and Kazir White. I think everybody else is going at that point. Maybe not Marcus Epps, depending on his price range. But
we could probably still keep Epps. I don't think his price range would be that high. Don't get me wrong. He played well, like this past season, but I don't see his market value being that high for people really being in high demand for him.
They saying it is, though. But, you know, you never believe the reports.
Who's saying it is?
It's the reports.
Reports where? From who? From what reporters?
I can't really call off my head, but I could go on Twitter and show you. There's been plenty of reports that people are interested in Marcus Epps.
Yeah, there has been.
It's been Jordan like 17, Jordan 18. Schultz. So I don't know what the money is.
Is this Eagles reporters? Is this Eagles media reporting this?
No, Jordan Schultz is a reliable source. He's a reliable source, and he's said it multiple times. But let me say something that the chat's talking about. I'm not putting no disrespect on Big Play Slay. I want to keep Big Play Slay. I think if you want to compare his numbers early in the season to later in the season, yeah, they're a little bit different. But I've never been one to say that Slay has fell off crazily. He still made his 5th Pro Bowl for a reason.
But people got to expect. But you got to expect in the second half of the season for his numbers to fall off. Teams started to get film study in a little. They got more film to study and be able to look for weaknesses in teams' defenses. So for us to expect him to literally sit there and stay top tier and not have some bad games or not have some plays where something go wrong, That's just dumb, especially later in the season when people got more game film to study.
Well, yeah, even besides that, again, cornerback is the hardest position to play on a defense with today's rules and stuff. And he's done again. You can't have
not just on the defense. I think that's the hardest position to play on the entire team because basically you out there on an island by yourself. You a man out there by yourself, really.
I mean, QB still hard too. I mean, you got QB.
It's hard, but at the same time, most QB, you can look at QB's always got other people they can rely on. When that ball is snapped, that DB is on his own.
True. Check this out. The quarterback has to know. I mean, the quarterback has a DB has to play defense on that one guy. It's tough in today's rules, no doubt about it. But it's still his responsibility is stopping that one guy, right? The receivers only got to worry about their play. The blockers got to worry about their guy in front of them. The quarterback got to know what everybody's doing. He got to know where the line shifts. He got to remember every single route, which I'm not saying is hard for a professional, but you know what I mean? It's definitely, we've seen so many people with arm talent in the NFL, but not be great at quarterback because of the decision making, the fact that you get the ball, you touch the ball every single time. We've seen receivers, even Justin Jefferson, go a game where he only gets like 30 yards and like 3 catches. You know, the quarterback got to be legit in today's game. But cornerback is literally hard, and I do not like the narrative of Slay being so bad either. Though.
Jason Kelce explained it best. Cornerback hard, and it's so hard they ain't had a white cornerback in 20 years.
You don't see no white cornerbacks, right? It's crazy. It's
like
tough.
And here's what's like literally, you really don't see too many white safeties. Because that's a tough position too. Because you got to literally.
We got one of them boys who might be playing some heavy minutes depending on what goes on.
I'm gonna put it. Like seriously watching him play. He kind of remind me of watching like a John Lynch play, man.
John Lynch was the man.
Really watching, it's like watching John Lynch play, man. I'm like, oh, hold on. Except for he's actually, I think he's more instinctive and he's got better hands than John Lynch. But I don't think he hit like John Lynch because John Lynch would lay that wood on you. I'm sorry. John Lynch might take your damn senses from you.
Facts. Tatted 12. What's going on? Can you hear us? You got your mic muted if you want to chime into the conversation. And if anybody wants to come in on YouTube, all you got to do is click the link, sign up. If you haven't signed up already, use the promo code that is in the pinned comment section as well. So let you know that you came from Philly Mike. But listen, don't be shy. Come in and get into the conversation. You know what I mean? Who do you see the Eagles targeting outside? Like we've been talking about our own free agents for so long, right? Like, you know, especially now that we got the Bradberry news where we're trying to match Bradberry, you know, knowing what he's worth. But who outside do you see as, you know, not just a possibility for the Eagles, but someone that you want the Eagles to look at? You got anybody on the top of your head?
I like Bobby Wagner.
I like Tremaine.
A 1 year cheap deal for him to sit there next to the Kobe Dean. Boy, I think that'd be deadly as hell.
I like Tremaine Edmonds a little better because he's younger. You can have him around for a little longer.
Yeah, but what
Bobby Wagner did play. He had a great year. What do you have like
his price? I was being realistic. I mean, I probably can pick a few people that's unrealistic, but I know Bobby Wagner more in our price range. I think Trey looking for at least like 16.
Hey, we might be able to look at that boy Ashawn Robinson too.
I just heard about him on Gate City, I think, right?
Yeah,
Gate City made a nice video breaking down him.
Him next to Jordan Davis. Ooh, try to run the ball if you want to. You get nowhere in there.
Facts. Another guy who's like, I think is a realistic price range, a guy who logs 500 snaps every season. His market value is not that high, like $5 million, is Sheldon Rankins. That's a guy. When you look at the free agent list, it's crazy because Ashawn Robinson and Sheldon Rankins are right there. They're like number 55 and 56. So in the top 101 free agents, they got Sheldon Rankins and Alshon Robinson right next to each other. But if we end up losing Javon Hargrave, which I think we will, we do got to get we need a veteran D tackle in here. I still think the Eagles are going to draft a D tackle or a defensive lineman, but like you can't go from having Hargrave, Fletch, Sue, Linval, and Davis, a 5-man rotation with Milton Williams, a 6-man rotation, to now having Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, and that's it. You know what I mean? So you got to get a veteran and another young dude in there. And I like Milton Williams, but you got to be able to rotate. You know what I mean?
I think we just need to get started, injecting youth all the way around when it comes to their defense.
Facts.
I think we rely too much on our veteran. Now, don't get me wrong, BG coming back, that's a great thing. I like that because he's a veteran guy in there that's going to get these young boys. Because one thing I noticed about BG, the longer he played, the more he tried to put out there and really try to go at it. Because he like, all right, these young boys, I gotta show these young boys they ain't taking my spot or they can't get me up out of here. So he just every year he seemed like he just go harder.
Hey, what's the deal with Fletch though? Is he just like really just done, or is he like asking for a whole bunch of money or something?
I don't know.
He's been quiet. His market value is like, I think the last time I checked, and again, this is Spot Track. They do pretty darn good estimates, because they got professionals doing it. But I think he's 12 for 12-ish, 14 mil. I think that's where the market value is, and that's why I don't see us being able to do that. Now, if you go ahead and take one of them BG discounts, come on, Fletch. This was $100 million man 10 years ago. You know what I mean? He made his money. Now, I ain't gonna knock anybody.
Paid already.
I ain't gonna knock anybody who wants to go get their bag, but come on, Fletch, give us a little hometown discount. Run it back.
At this point, though, guys like Fletch, Kelsey, Lane Johnson, BG, them boys done got paid already. They not really looking for the bag no more. They trying to go out on top. They trying to go out going for a championship. So I think that with those guys, I don't think money's the issue with them.
Who do y'all think the first person we signed back is, though?
We already signed him, BG.
Well, after BG. Yeah. You think we'll hear about Kelsey tomorrow? That's what I'm thinking. It might be Kelsey.
Kelsey looks to be a good decision, a good choice, just because he might even announce it on his show when he drops that show with Howie Roseman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I seen that he had a show with Howie.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting.
How we gonna be on the podcast with him and his brother?
Peppy 0510, if you can hear us and you want to chime in, unmute your mic, or if you want to come in the conversation. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit that like button and feel free to come through. All you gotta do is click the link in the description. Click the link in the pin, at the top of the pinned comment section and come through. It's interesting, because I could see somebody like Boston Scott being a quick re-sign, you know what I mean? Not really having options out there. And, we get him on that Boston Scott type deal, Miller too, blah, blah, blah. And it's not going to make or break the team, but let's be honest, in a jam, it's good to have a guy like Boston who's been around. And I think he's, reliable. He stepped up in times where we needed him to throughout his little career with the Eagles. And we know how he do against the Giants for sure. So I could see something like that, something like, a real cheap deal. DeMarcus Epps thing is interesting because, like you said, I don't, I'll take him back for the right price, but I'm not making it a priority at all. We already know the priority, which should be CJ. And hey, if you're gonna add James Bradberry to the priority, or at least a call me back list, I'll take it.
I'm really not pressed on Epps for the simple fact that I would rather see CJ Gardner Johnson with Reed Blankenship. I think that would be a combination.
If you ain't got CJ no more, to be honest.
Yeah, if you ain't got CJ no more, and for a fact you ain't got CJ, then you might as well just go ahead and catch Epps up and put him and Reed back there. But if you can get CJ back, you go ahead and let Epps walk, because you can put Blankenship in Epps' spot and have CJ back there. Just go ahead and draft another young dude later to develop. Or like we found Reed Blankenship, an undrafted free agent rookie.
Yeah, I definitely could see something like that. I can't wait because tomorrow's the first day where the window opens. You'll start seeing the big name guys go right away. Don't downplay free agency later, way after the draft. There's certain, like, think about what the Eagles have done multiple times. Like James Bradberry was at the buzzer. You know what I mean? Like last year, which was one of our most epic off seasons in a sense of trades and signings and blah blah blah. CJ Gardner-Johnson didn't come to the Eagles till late in the year. You know what I mean? That trade came after the draft. James Bradberry came after the draft.
That was like a week or two before the season started.
Yeah. And at one time we signed Hassan Reddick as soon as like the window opened and all that. And then the Eagles went quiet, went ghost mode, and fans were upset. You know what I mean? And then that draft trade, bang, bang, AJ Brown, I almost lost it. You know what I mean?
That's what's crazy about that. I ain't gonna lie, yo. The moment that AJ Brown trade happened, I wasn't even sitting in my damn seat in front of the TV. I was actually standing in front of the stove making something for my lady to eat at the time, and then I went and put it in the room. I come back in, and literally, I'm not gonna lie, I looked across the screen, bro, and I was like, wait. Why is the Titans on the clock? Where our pick go? And then it finally flashed like 3 minutes later. Wait, AJ Brown. Okay, never mind. I see where the pick went. I ain't mad no more. I was mad. Like, what is we doing? AJ. Never mind. I ain't mad no more. Okay.
Facts.
I was watching Philly 500. I thought it was a prank.
See, that was the thing. So a lot of the content creators were live, and so sometimes, I'm watching it on TV and stuff, so I get the news right away. But I forgot why. But like the chat started going hard with the AJ Brown, and so sometimes the chat be trolling. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the chat, and for some reason, I'm watching it live on cable, so I don't know why they got it before me.
In the house?
But I guess maybe from Twitter, because Twitter knows before the trade actually happens.
Because 9 times out of 10, one of them reporters or the agents and hit one of those insiders up and let them know, so they go ahead and put it out there before it even get. Most of the time, the people on cable and everything, they get them little early updates about it because they sitting there the whole time they doing the broadcast. Somebody's sitting there looking at their damn phone like, okay, what's this guy saying? What breaking news? That's how they get it.
But yo, for real though, the chat started saying AJ Brown, and I'm like I want to believe him, but I don't know if I can. I'm just like, what's going on? And then when it happened, I was just like,
I wasn't watching. That's the thing about it. I wasn't watching nobody live stream, nothing. I was just sitting here watching the draft because I already knew if I watched somebody live stream, I was going to be looking at the chat, and the chat was going to be saying some madness, and I didn't want to get my hopes up or get pissed off about something for nothing. So I just sat there and watched the draft itself, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay, never mind. I ain't mad no more.
Yeah, facts. Listen, for anybody in the chat that wants to come in here, you got to click the link at the top of the chat. You got to sign up for the JJAANN app. This ain't the regular call-ins on StreamYard. We're not on StreamYard with this. This is powered by the JJAANN app. When you do sign up for the JJAANN app, make sure you use the promo code available, P5DY6KKO. It's listed right before the link. But once you sign up, you could come through, but you got to go through the JJAANN app, which the link is at the top of the chat pinned. But yeah, again, what a great offseason last year. Not only did we make all these moves hit. Like Bradberry's best year, Kaiser played nice, AJ had his best year, everybody, CJ had his best year, and that's why it's kind of hard to bring everybody back. But going back around, if Howie Roseman pulls off Bradberry and CJ, that's legendary. You're talking about two guys who had their best season while your, cap ain't the greatest, and then you find a way to do it. That just goes to show me that when there's a will, there's a way with Howie. And, I know he really, like, the way he's described how he feels after losing the Super Bowl, talking about, like, it left a scar and all that. Howie hungry. Howie not playing around. So Howie going to work anything he can. I seen it in his face when he talked about losing that Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to put in the work.
He was mad. He was big mad right then because he was so mad about it. Man, and I can tell you right now, the main thing in that press conference, the main thing that made him the maddest the most was when they asked him about the field conditions. And like he said, yeah, both teams played on that field, but you could look in his face and he was so pissed off. Because why you gonna have golf and turf out there, and the first time you use that type of turf is the Super Bowl? Come on, man. He like, no, this, and it wasn't like he was upset. It wasn't like we was just upset about the turf and we was complaining about it. Even the Chiefs players was like, yo, it's the worst turf I ever, it's the worst surface I ever played on.
Yeah. Kelsey said he liked it. Kelsey,
like I can't say it like that because you look at it like this. We all defensively, look at what our defensive line did all year long, and every game leading up to that. Every game leading up to that, we got at least 4 to 5 sacks a game. We ain't getting no sacks that game. None.
Not even one. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Not even one, bro. Come on,
real, bro.
Yeah. It was definitely rough for the defensive line.
It's like that Air Force One song. We may not have 3 or 4, but we ain't got one, man. Come on now. You ain't got one, man. Come on.
Yo, I'm still upset about it. Like, I'm gonna be upset about that Super Bowl for a minute.
I'll be upset until we win another one.
No more.
Yeah.
I can't be upset about it. It was a golden
opportunity. Like, I'm not. It was wild.
I can't be upset no more because if I keep being upset about it, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna have a good year this year coming. Because no matter what happened, unless we win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be mad at everybody. So I can't be mad about it no more. I gotta let it go. I can't harbor that anger.
Yeah. I mean, I stay with Eagle gear on, you know what I mean? Like either a hat, a hoodie or something. And then people still tell me who haven't seen me in a while, when they see me, they're like they bring it up. You know what I mean? They just see my shirt and it was like, yeah, that was a tough one. I'm like, duh, it was a tough one. What do you mean? Don't. Like,
dude, I was sitting at the bar down the street last night and somebody gonna ask me, talk about some, man, I know you thought y'all were gonna win that game, didn't you? I said, man, don't even talk to me right now. I don't even want to talk about it.
I think my team was gonna win the Super Bowl. What the fuck?
Like, for real, bro.
Yeah.
No, I went in there thinking that the Chiefs was gonna beat me. That's what I thought.
Let's be real, Mike. I came on your live stream that day and said we was gonna win 48-17. Of course, I was drunk as hell, but oh well, whatever. But that's how strongly I believe that we was gonna win that game, man. And I want people to know, when I predict scores, I don't predict what's actually going to happen. I predict scores based on how confident I am in the team in that game. That's how I throw scores out there. I'm not ever going to predict the actual score. Now, if the actual score actually pan out to be like that, I just got lucky on that one. That's how that's going to work.
Facts. And still tough knowing that, you know, we scored the most points ever in a Super Bowl loss. Just goes to show you.
Scored the second most points in a Super Bowl loss.
Patriots against us.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Damn, they scored the second most points in the loss, but that was to us. Yeah, and then we turned around and said the second scored the most points in the Super Bowl loss. Ain't this a bitch?
Bro, and shout out to the chat, because some of the people in the chat said they'll never watch that replay ever. And I'm with you, but my dumbass watched the mic'd up version of it because I had to see. I had to know what the players were feeling, right? But yo, this broke my heart. Like, I almost cried when I heard Nick Sirianni tell the defense.
You get us the ball back, we'll win.
You can get us the ball back, we gonna win the Super Bowl. He said that right before the Bradberry hold. Oh shit, bro! The way he said it, and I believed it. I watched the game. I said, if we get this stop on 3rd and 8, Jalen Hurts is not going to be denied. And then when that flag came out,
what's so bad about it, Mike? When he said that, my heart broke, bro, because I already knew what happened right next. So I was already like, God damn.
And listen, I don't know about you, and I don't know why, but my mind, I can't control my mind in a sense. When I was watching that mic'd up game, I kept thinking it was going to be a different outcome. Like, I know it can't change. Like, I know we lost, but the way they were talking, like BG on the sideline, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Like,
nah, you know what killed me? Jalen Hurts being like, man, I need y'all to get me a pick six to get that fumble back.
Yeah.
Give me a big turnover to get that fumble back, and we never got that much. We never got a damn stop.
If we would have got it, we didn't even have to get a turnover. Just get a stop.
Yeah.
If you just got a stop in the second half.
He had one incompletion in the second half, and it was a throwaway. That's how he was dotting us up. And this man was really doing it on one leg. Bro, he was grimacing. He was grimacing on the sideline before the half.
That's why I said I'm so mad at Jonathan Gannon for the simple fact that at that moment you're supposed to be a shark. There was blood in the water right then. It was supposed to be an all-out assault up the middle on damn Patrick Mahomes, because you already know he ain't doing too much cutting left and right on that ankle. He ain't doing it.
Facts.
He north and south on that ankle only.
Nah, he straight ahead. He only got straightaway run speed. He ain't cutting on that thing. He's not. I'm telling you right now.
He had a big run though against us at the end too. Like,
all you had to do was either blitz him up the middle and force him to his left. He's not comfortable throwing the ball running to his left. He does it every now and then, but the lowest completion percentage he has is when he's getting forced to his left, just like Jalen Hurts.
Interesting. But yeah, so back to free agency a little bit. What is your confidence level though? Not on James Bradberry. What is your confidence level now with just hearing some of the more rumblings on CJ Gardner Johnson? Like, what is your confidence level of us getting him back?
1 to 10 or
yeah, give me a 1 to 10. Give me a 1 to 10 rating. Chat, you do the same thing. 1 to 10 on the confidence level of CJ being back in green.
I'm gonna say 7, man, because I feel like how he trying to move numbers now. He been trying to do that all weekend. He been trying to like finagle a little money so he could at least take a chance. And then I've heard the same thing you was telling me about Bradberry. I heard the same thing about CJ. He basically told him, test your market, let me know. So if he willing to know the market, at least he know where to put the numbers at. I think he gonna pull it out. I don't know about Bradberry, but I think he pulled CJ out. I'm at a 7.
I'm gonna go with 8.5, considering, and this is why I'm gonna say that. I don't know if y'all follow Ryan Clark's podcast, The Pivot, with Fred Taylor and Channing. He had one where he had Brian Dawkins on there, and they asked Big Dawk a question. If you were a young Eagles fan right now, watching that defense, who jersey you wearing? Without hesitation, he said, 23, without question. He loved the way he says he reminds me because he's that chess piece. You can move anywhere. You can put him in zone coverage, man coverage on a slot receiver. You can put him on the outside. You can bring him on the blitz. He said, and plus that attitude he played with, it reminded him so much. He said, man, y'all get me so hyped right now. Just like thinking about how he played. And it's the same thing. I said, that's why I was on with Joe Castro Tuesday night. And I said, man, he's the closest thing I've seen to Brian Dawkins, bro. Yeah, Jenkins was nice. And he could play but he didn't play with that same attitude and that same... Like Doc was always chirping to the opponent, tell him, "Oh, it's gonna hurt when I hit you. It's gonna hurt." Look at CJ Gardner Johnson when he out there talking. He let him know, "Hey, look, you ain't getting nothing over here. It's not happening. It's a lock over here. It's time to make plays over here."
Yeah, I like your 8.5 and I like your 7. I'm probably right around a 7 too, because I do think it's not going to be easy by any means, because the market already told you what he's worth. But if Howie Roseman is not dumb, we all know somewhat of his market value. So for Howie Roseman to say, go check your market value before you sign. And again, he said it for Bradberry, but he also kind of said it for CJ. He said, before you sign, let us get a chance to match.
I'm gonna keep it real. If Howie only makes 2 re-signs, if Howie only does 2 other contracts this offseason, it's going to be Jalen and CJ Gardner-Johnson, and I'll be cool with that. I would be cool with that.
What would you do if imagine this, like, what if Howie's trying to wait on Jalen now? Like, I'm not for that. I want to get the deal done before Burrow gets his, before Herbert gets his, just because it's based on that kind of stuff. I want the deal to come now.
Does Howie Roseman look like Jerry Jones?
I'm not saying franchise tag.
No, he not going to wait on doing that deal. He already know the longer I wait, the higher that price tag going to be. And the higher that price tag get, I might not be able to do it later on.
But Mike, you made that point, right? You made that point. My bad, Stu. But look, you made that point, Mike. But I heard that shit on the one show on FS1 with Shady.
Speak Your Mind.
Speak.
He was like, the dude Acho was like, I know the game of football. He said it feel like to me, Jalen Hurts representatives is holding out to see what them boys get.
I wouldn't bet against that.
They think a little different.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you know right now. His agent, boy, she trying to hit big. She trying first African American female agent to represent a quarterback in the NFL. She trying to make her mark. That contract gonna be something serious, and she ain't playing.
But Jalen does strike me as a guy who he needs his bag. He wants his bag. He needs his bag. But I'm when I say discount, I'm not even saying discount. I'm saying I don't see Jalen putting the Eagles in a bad spot because he hungry too. This man came out and said, I ain't walked through the fire just to smell the smoke, and he understands he needs a football team around him. I mean, the cap's going to go up, his value is going to be there, but like the way how he's talking about,
and he also know that behind him, Smitty got to get paid
down the line. We got 3 years for that.
Yeah, but still at the same time, that's little bro to him. He want little bro to get the bag ASAP. He ain't trying to have little bro sit there wait around. They've been cool with each other since they was at Alabama when Jalen was a young buck. So you got to think in that SEC championship game against Georgia, he threw that damn touchdown pass. Who was that too? That was Smitty. So Smitty helped it. Smitty was one of those people that helped him get here. He wants Smitty to get that bag too. So the way I see it, I look at it like this. Jalen, if you really paid attention to the people that he said that he spends a lot of time talking to, people like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Eli and them, all of those guys played the long game in their career, their contracts. All of those guys found ways to change their game and improve their game as they went along. They adapted their game. Look at what Jalen had to do his whole time. He found a way. You really think Jalen gonna sit there and say, yeah, I did all of this, but guess what? There was other people that helped me get here. Let me make sure it's something there for them too.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that go into this, but here's my thing. The confidence level of Howie Roseman telling Bradberry and CJ, go test your value and call me with a chance to match. What if there's a conversation behind the scenes where they're like, Jalen, you're getting your deal, but we going like I don't want him to wait. But what if Howie does really try to? I don't know. It's weird.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. But my thing is,
it's all Jalen because
that's what I'm saying.
It's all up to Jalen.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said. And here's the thing about it. If you really think about it, in that exit interview that Jalen had at his locker when he left, he even said to the media, there's a time and place to talk about that stuff. When they ask somebody, it's just a time and place, a day and time for that. Today ain't the day, and now ain't the time.
So what time is it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again,
You know what
I think it's totally up to Jalen. But again, that Herbert contract, that Burrow contract is going to throw a monkey wrench. And what's going on with Lamar Jackson is wild.
That's why I say they should not wait. What's going on with Lamar is the damn Baltimore Ravens were dumb as hell. That's what's going on.
When the number was where they were willing to pay is when they should have paid. Now the number has moved and you're not willing to pay.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now you got to look at yourself and say, shit, should we have paid him when we could have afforded to? Or, you know what I mean, are we just going to let this dude walk? Because either way you look at it, you painted yourself into a corner.
But I don't understand the disrespect on his name, though, how, like, nobody interested, or is it the fact of the 2 first-round picks, or is the guarantee money?
Nah. They said what it was, man. The NFL owners, they all mad at that owner up in Cleveland. They all mad at
guarantee money, yeah.
All that guarantee money they gave to Sean Watson.
230.
They like, hold on, bro. You blew the QB market way the hell up. So right now they're trying to get the QB market back under control. The problem is Lamar Jackson, the guaranteed money that they offered Lamar Jackson was less than Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, which none of us can argue. Since Lamar Jackson has became a starter in Baltimore, he's outplayed both of them. If you're
I've heard you don't even want fully guaranteed. I heard it guaranteed to match up.
That's the only thing that's why he rejected the contract they gave him, because they only tried to offer him 133 million guarantees. And he like, hold up, man. Hold up. Kyler got 160 something mil guaranteed. Russell Wilson got 180 million guaranteed. And I've outplayed both of these cats. You ain't gonna offer me more guarantees than them? Oh, hell nah. Him and his mama ain't dumb. They never said anything about wanting a fully guaranteed contract. They just want the guaranteed money to be, at least, I'm saying, not look so disrespectful.
Yeah, shout out to, real quick though, shout out to my guy Michael Feldler. Just dropped like a huge super chat, but not on YouTube because, I am demonetized for the moment. He dropped it to the Cash App. Shout out to my guy, $50 banger. He said, keep your head up. Good stuff. Good Eagles talk. Shout out to my guy Michael Feldler. Been supporting the channel. A lot of Eagle content creators for a minute. And don't worry, YouTube can't keep me down for long. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But shout out to Mike with the super chat, or I should say the Cash App chat. But yeah, I think as it pertains to Jalen Hurts' contract, I feel like Howie loves him. I feel like it's going to get done at the right time with the right numbers. I have no doubt about it.
Hold on, Mike, because I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. And I need to address somebody that just said something so ignorant and stupid that he needs to be called out. Cade McDonald. This dude talking about unfortunately, our QB needed help to succeed, and now, unfortunately, he's going to be overpaid. First of all, Jalen's not going to be overpaid, goofball. He's going to be paid for improving like you probably thought he couldn't do. He's being paid for being an ascending quarterback who is being projected to be even better than he just showed you he was. He's being paid because he earned it, not because he needed help. He earned it, bro. Stop sitting there acting like our quarterback ain't earned his money, bro. Stop acting like that, dude.
Yeah, I will add to that Jalen, again, not only did he had a tremendous season, he played lights out in the Super Bowl minus that fumble. But here's the biggest thing, because we know what he's become, but the jump from last year to this year was huge. Like I believed in Jalen. Every video I made, I believed in Jalen. I said that he's going to be better. but there were things he needed to work on: pocket presence, mechanics, this, that, and the third. And not only he didn't just work on it, he crushed it. He took his team to the Super Bowl, regardless of what anybody want to say about schedule or not. This man was a top 3 quarterback all year. He's listen, you don't get these high words. I know Pat Mahomes is a nice guy. Pat Mahomes is a real nice guy, but I mean, Pat Mahomes pretty much said that Jalen Hurts put on the biggest show in the Super Bowl. We got the dub, but Jalen Hurts put on the show. Same with Travis Kelce.
You just said that name too, Patrick Mahomes, because K. McDonald said every QP is overpaid. You clown. Is Pat Mahomes overpaid?
I think he's talking about. Again, I think some people still don't like the fact that again these people get these big contracts to play a game that they love. At the end of the day, just like milk's going to go up, just like minimum wage is going to go up, the quarterback position is the most important. Is the most important position, and it's going to go up. Listen, at the end of the day, you could say every quarterback's overpaid. You cannot agree that they need to get this much money, but when the market changes, this is what it is. All I know is I want to be on the end that I have a quarterback that is trustworthy and at least worth this much money, which I believe we do.
They get paid because he getting paid because he the next man up. Okay, every QB, no. I tell you who's overpaid. Daniel Jones. That guy is overpaid. He get ready to make $40 million a year and threw 15 touchdown passes in 19 games.
Yeah, and see, so Kate said the same thing. He's talking about the market in general. Is just overpaid. Like right now, running backs are going to be getting not great contracts compared to anything else. You got your kid playing football. You better make them. Hey, first of all, you want to talk money? Make sure you let your kid play baseball. That's where the big bucks are, because there's no salary cap over there in MLB. Now, I'm much more of a football
Major League Baseball. You want your kid to be either playing baseball, soccer, or basketball. All of them got guaranteed contracts, and all of that money is right there.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, the role players in the NBA get paid like superstars in the NFL, pretty much. And then you got them guaranteed contracts, and then baseball's wild with like the $500 million. Like these guys, like Machado and all them, like these guys signed for like
what 300 million? Somebody signed for like 9 years, 380 million or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like 500. I'm mad at myself. I ain't keep playing baseball when I was little. Damn. $300 million, $400 million contracts. What? 10 years? All I got to be around y'all is for 10 years? I can act like I like half of y'all people for 10 years. Okay, cool. Well, when I'm around y'all, I act like y'all my friends. When I'm at home, I don't know none of y'all fools. I treat it like every other day at work.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw my video on Jalen Hurts' projected contract from Spot Track, but how do y'all feel about 6 years? What was it? 6 years, 200 and something million. I think it was 44.2 million a year. Like, I think if you could say that all quarterbacks are overpaid, blah blah blah. But if we get Jalen Hurts for 44, I think that's a steal with how the market's going. You know what I mean? Because Daniel,
I wanted to do it over 10. I want to do 44 over 10.
Hey, the longer the contract is, the more I think how he can play with things, But
exactly, that's why I say I've been hearing literally one of the very few voices I listen to in national media is somebody who played here, Herm Edwards. He said, "Give him the Patrick Mahomes deal, give him a 10-year deal. That way you can stretch the money out. You can stretch the guaranteed money out as long as you need to keep a good team around your quarterback." Give him that Patrick Mahomes, as they say, that Patrick Price.
Yeah, but see, sometimes I think players don't want it that long. You know what I mean? For the simple fact that if they always have another shot at another big contract. You know what I mean? Another shot at it. So
think about it this way. All of Patrick Mahomes,
down for whatever's the best for the team.
I'm saying all of Patrick Mahomes' guaranteed money is up after this season. You think they ain't coming back to the table?
No, Stu, you got it wrong. He got like 2 more seasons of guaranteed money, bro. 6 years.
But think about that. You think they ain't coming back to the table with him to extend that?
I think next year they might, but not this year. It's gonna be too fast. You're gonna kill him. He only on the cap. Listen, he took a real team-friendly deal. I think he only on the cap for like 38.7 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So therefore, you think they're not going to come back to the table with him within the next year and a year or so and say, hey, let's make an extension and add more guaranteed money?
That money from the back end and move it.
Yeah.
That's the type, you know what I'm saying? We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you in roster bonus at the beginning of the year. We'll give you an extra $30 million. Cool.
Yeah, but they also going to extend the contract out a few more years too. That's what they're going to do. So basically, it's going to go back to being basically another 10-year contract.
Yeah, lifetime deal. He's lifetime Chiefs.
Yeah, that means they just move it, and they can do the same thing with Jalen.
Yeah,
and that I like 10. I want 10. 10 years,
That's
480. Work it out when he making like 42 on the cap, something like that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
And look, and Daniel Jones is making 40 a year. 40 mil a year, but look, I read that wrong the first time I did a video on it. Like he has 35 million in incentives. So if he reaches the incentives, which I mean, I think the incentives would be like certain milestones, maybe 4,000 passing yards, just that in the third. So if he reaches the incentives, that means he's playing good ball. But
if not, he's making like 32 million, right?
Well, no. He's 40 is what he's making. He has
without the incentives, ain't it like 42? He's making 40 with the incentives. Make 32 out, right?
Make 41 a year. No, he's gonna make 41 a year over the next 2 years because that's his only guaranteed money. No, it's a 4-year contract, but he's only got 2 years guaranteed money, and that's that's his upcoming year and the year after that. So after those first 2 years, he ain't got no more guarantees. They can walk from it.
Correct, but what I'm saying is, forget the guarantee, Smitty. I did it wrong in a sense of he the lowest he's getting a year is 40 million. His incentives can get him up to 48.
Oh, so the other way, he don't have
to. It's the other way.
So he can have a 4-year, $195 million contract.
Yeah, he can add an extra $35 million on his
if he's trash, he's getting 40. If whatever the incentives are, but the incentives got to be to be like a top 10 quarterback or something. So if he hits the incentives, well, then the contract pans out. I guess he's playing good ball. But to know that he has the option to get 48, sheesh, that's Danny Jones.
I want to say the
opposite way. That's what I was thinking. Like he could lose 35 if he don't meet the incentives.
And he can
add money. Oh my God.
But I also want to say this real quick, y'all. Last year, this past season, it just happened. See how all 4 teams were competitive? It's about to be even more intense this year. Because the Giants gonna have a little cap room to be able to do some stuff in free agency. They gonna do something. So and Washington gonna be able to do something too. Cowboys ain't gonna be able to do much. We gonna be able to do a little something. It's gonna get a little tighter this year in the division.
I mean, the division was the best division in football last year. I don't see it getting worse either way. And look, shout out to the Cowboys freed up 30 mil. So I don't know if they're gonna spend it, but they definitely freed it up by restructuring. I'm gonna put it
like this: they either gonna blow most of it on making one move, or they're gonna be smart and they're gonna spread it out over a few moves. My best guess is they're gonna blow most of it on one move. See how Dez Bryant was sitting there trying to recruit DeAndre Hopkins to the Cowboys. That'll be most of that cap money right there.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is another thing I wanted to ask both of y'all while you was here, but then Smitty bounced. If we could swing it and we could fit it under the cap, how would you feel about having OBJ as wide receiver 3?
At this point, I wouldn't say no, in a sense of it's an upgrade for sure. And you worded it as if we could swing it, so that makes sense. I just don't believe. In my mind, it's like we have more pressing issues, but yeah, if we could swing he's out there catching one-hand balls again. He's looking good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. Like, I'm not saying like I said Tuesday with Castro. I'm not giving up on Quez. I'm not. He deserves another shot. At the same time, if you could upgrade and you could fit it under the cap and you could be OBJ at wide receiver 3, ooh, Smitty, OBJ, and AJ with Dallas Goddard. I don't even care who the running back is at that point.
I got a question for you though. Is Quez gonna put the same effort in that he did from year 1 to year 2? Because year 2 to year 3 look like he put in no work. Look like he went back.
That you know what? That's an interesting question, but there's only one person who can answer that. That's Quez.
So I would rather keep him on the team, but I'd rather him be 4.
You rather him be 4?
Well, look, somebody in the chat,
you know what? And this is why I agree with that. Because when he was in that position as wide receiver 4, that's when he did put in more focus and put in more effort because he felt as though he had to earn his way up to get more play time.
Yeah. Well, the chat's saying that OBJ talking about some $20 million. So, whoop, he out.
OBJ already know he not going to get that. He know his age.
Christian Kirk just got 19.
But Christian Kirk wasn't coming off back-to-back ACL injuries either.
Yeah, but, not modern medicine, man.
Christian
Kirk well, guess what? Also modern medicine was around after the first one. OBJ know he's not getting $20 million a year because he should already know the market's going to tell him you are not a number 1 receiver no more. No team in the NFL is going to view you as a number 1 receiver coming off back-to-back ACL injuries and back-to-back seasons. It's not happening, bro. So literally, he's going to get humbled and come to the realization that, hey, look, I better take whatever contract I can get and go somewhere.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he's gonna get more than $2 million, and that's what Quez is. That's his Quez worth, $2 million. That's another reason why I'm all for giving him a shot. And again, standing in front of how you regress and all that, it shows me a lot. Like I said, he knows he got to work. So to Smitty's point, asking it, the only person that knows is Quez for sure. But you don't get out in front of it the way he did right after the Super Bowl if he's not willing to put in the work. And we've seen him do it once. I think attitude wise, Quez always had a good head, and so I'm willing to bet on him because he's already proved a lot. I think he's proved a lot from being a 6th-round wide receiver. Like again, he took a step back this year, but the year he had that showed where we thought the potential was there, like that was a really solid season for being a guy that went in the 200s. You know what I mean?
I was mad his rookie year at Doug Peterson. I was mad at that.
Slay's trying to recruit Thielen. He said it on.
I was mad at the coaching staff Quez's rookie year because we kept taking so many deep shots with John Hightower. And I'm like, Quez should have been in that spot. That's where Quez should have been. Every time we took a deep shot and John Hightower got overthrown, I was like, that should have been Quez. He's faster, he's shiftier, and he can get down the field. That should have been Quez. Every time I'm like, that should have been Quez. Why is he not there? Even if he don't catch it and you got somebody that's going to run deep past with him, guess what? That's opening up space for somebody that deep dig route or that deep over route that you got coming from Gardner. Why is Quez not there? Y'all worried about Hightower? Oh, he was taller. He can go up and get. So what? He can't track the ball better, and he can't get down the field quicker. The hell we doing?
Facts. Real quick, shout out to BG31 and Cool C. Cool C, how you feel about Quez? Real quick.
Well, like I was saying to you guys last week, I was like, I could take him or leave him. But after, listening to, what everybody had to say, about Quez and the fact that he did come out and, he was like, hey, owned up to his stuff, I could see, why we should give him a second chance. And now I'm into, okay, let's see what he's, what he wants to do. Let's see if he's going to improve. So
are you okay with moving him down the roster?
The improvement at this point, huh?
Are you okay with moving him down the roster spot?
Yeah, I'm okay with moving him down the roster spot because he still needs to re-earn that spot. So that's where I am right now.
BG,
love the fact that he is back. I'm glad that he got his deal.
I was about to say, 3-1, what's good, 31? How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. Just getting off of work.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. You're good.
But the whole Quest thing, I'd say we just need to stop tripping. Like Quest does things that other people can't do, like the speed that he has, the ability to get open like him. Like he had a down season, like she said, like he admitted it. He said I had a down season. It's kind of like the Rager effect. Rager thought he was gonna be number one. We drafted Devontae, and then he got moved down the roster. He couldn't handle that, you know. And I think it kind of happened with Quest. Quest was number two. You know, he had over 700 yards. He's probably expecting to come back and have a great year, a big year. We go get AJ, and now he don't get very many balls thrown his way. You know, it's kind of happened with him. It's happened with, Miles Sanders before we gave him the carries that we gave him this year. So it's just one of the things where he had to mentally get over it. And he said
And
he has some.
you be honest with you, I think that actually is the same thing. That same thing that happened to Rager, where he couldn't handle it. That's the same thing that happened to Aguilar, to be honest with you, because he was drafted in the first round to be a number one. But when Jordan Matthews showed out and was better, outperforming him and everything, it became something that was too much for him. I think that's why they moved on from Jordan Matthews, because they had to actually make Aguilar as being that first round pick. They had to make room and make it look like, okay, he was worth that pick.
But the only difference is with Quez is that Quez actually came out and said it. You know, like he came out like a man and said it. He's like, hey, I had there, I was meant not there. You know, he even said he had some things off the field that none of us even know about, which he didn't talk about much. Where it's like you gotta respect that. He understands this now. He understands that with AJ and Smitty on the team, he's not gonna get that many balls, so he has to adjust to that. So I say you can't teach deep speed like that. Quest is one of the fastest guys in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
You can't teach. That's like having another D-Jack. You can't teach that.
Right, you can't teach that. Quest can get his thing right this offseason. He's gonna be with them boys. He is fast Batman, and he can be fine next year. I just think it took a year to adjust to the situation.
Yeah, I co-sign that 100%. I'm all for giving him another opportunity. And again, like he's fast. You can't teach that. But look, let's not act like in the year that he was balling, he was catching some nice contested catches. So to me, he's shown he can do a variety of things. I think as BG said, now he has to understand that he's not going to get the balls thrown to him that he did in year two. He's going to have to adjust to being, cold all game and then coming out to make a big catch. But I still think, he has the ability. The one thing that we just talked about with Aguilar and Rager, he already shown the ability to get in front of it more than they ever did. So Quez is a guy who I think, is if anybody, and again, here's the thing. He proved to be valuable at the six from being drafted 6, and both Aguilar and Regular, as 500 would say, they were first round failures. This is a 6th round diamond, if I think, because again, I still look at that 647-yard season as pretty good.
Hold on, I can't call Aguilar a first round failure. I cannot do that.
He was a beast the first year.
I can't do that because even though he only had one good year with us, it was the year we won the Super Bowl. And during that, if you really listen to him during his press conferences during that year, he took ownership of year 1 and year 2 of his career during that year, saying, look, I realized it was all on me. It wasn't nothing that nobody else was doing. It was on me. I had to be better. I had to focus more. I had to work on things. So I can't call Aguilar a first round failure, especially when he got that ring on his finger with us. Gotcha. Rager, yes. Yeah, Aguilar, no.
Cool. See, let me get you and then BG's take on the Slade drama. Do you think he stays? Do you think he goes? What's your take on that?
I think, in all heart of hearts, I think he's going to stay. I think he's testing out the market. However, I did hear that he's asking. He doesn't want his contract restructured. He wants it redone. He is looking for more money. So after I kind of heard that, I'm like, I don't know now. So, I think it could go either way, at this point. It would have been different for me, like I said, if it was the restructuring thing and it was a negotiating thing. Hey, I'm testing out the market, but now I'm not so sure. I would love to see him stay, and in all heart of hearts, I think he will. But with that, you never know.
All right, BG.
I think you stand, man. It is all the media talk about how he wants to be traded. They know that he got all the money, and he's just like up it. More money. So are you gonna get more money? If he gets lucky, if he doesn't, go with the money. At the end of the day, letting Howie know he don't want to restructure his money. He wants to get. He deserves. Really, look at a Pro Bowler 2, bro. With us, he had. Okay, don't throw the ball his way very often. Just
I think you keep cutting in and out a little bit too much.
Am I cutting in and out?
You sound better just there.
Okay, I'm saying he knows how much he's worth, and he just wants to get paid. Money that he's earned and deserved. 2 years Pro Bowl. He should have been a All Pro this year if you really think about it. Him and Bradberry are two of the best. Bradberry made it. He didn't make it, but he made Pro Bowl. I don't understand how that works. But yeah, I think he was just trying
All Pro is a bigger step up from Pro Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then Bradberry didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, facts.
Players vote.
Bradberry didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he made second.
But here's hold on. All Pro. Here's a story I heard. All players vote on the All Pro thing. But here's something that I know to be facts about that All Pro voting. A lot of those players, a lot of them, they don't even vote, man. A lot of them don't even vote. So people just vote for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think he's gonna be back. Man. I think Slay wants to be here. He's a part of our defense. And I think, if you're going to let Bradberry go, you got to keep Slay and drop the.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard the news.
I'm actually more partial to letting Bradberry go to keep Slay.
Yeah. Well, look, you heard the news about Bradberry, right? So Josiah Anderson reported talking to Bradberry that the Eagles had at least told him that when Monday comes and you start testing your free agency, give us a call before you sign to any team so we can see if we can match. And again, I said this to Smitty Eagle, the chat and Stu Vision before y'all got on. Howie Roseman's not telling Bradberry to call him back to see if he can match if he has if he believes 100% he can't afford him. And nobody knows the exact number at this point that's going to be offered to him, but you do know market value estimation. So for Howie Roseman to say to Bradberry, listen, test the market, but before you jump to another team, give us a call back to see if we can match. I'm thinking Howie's finding something. He knows something we don't know.
He knows he can find the money somewhere though. He know what he got in his back pocket.
We were $60 million over the cap, and he still brought players to our team. Why people think with $9 million to $8 million he can't bring people to our team? He can do his thing. Howie knows how to structure these contracts and make sure.
Howie Roseman, and I've been watching the Eagles since the mid '80s. Howie Roseman is the one person I've seen as a GM in this organization or in any that finds money where there just really ain't no damn money, but he find money. This is why I love Jewish people.
The Saints be doing it too. I don't know how to say the Saints be like $50 million over the cap and still signing Derek Carr.
But here's the thing about it. This is why I love Jewish people. These dudes can squeeze a penny so red they will find $50. How we gonna find that money to bring back CJ Gardner Johnson and extend Bradberry and bring back CJ Gardner Johnson, or one of either Bradberry or Slay is gone and CJ Gardner Johnson and the other one is back? How we gonna find that money? If he ain't look, you got two Jewish people running this organization, really. Howie and Jeffrey Lurie. They gonna squeeze $1 million and find $3 billion. I promise you that.
Hey, it is what it is. Cool. See, what's your take on Howie being somewhat confident in telling CJ and Bradberry, listen, before you sign elsewhere, give us a chance to match?
Well, that was going to actually be my next question, because my understanding was, I know that he was trying to do that for CJ, but I didn't realize until I got ready to come up here that he was saying at the Bradberry. So I'm like, did he renege on
No, it's for
on
both. It's
CJ
for both.
or?
See, it's for
No,
But if
both. He
they're
told
I
telling
think
me
the
CJ
reason
on
and
why he
both,
did
Bradbury
that is,
about that.
he definitely knows something that we don't,
Yeah.
and he's got
but
something up
here's
his
how
sleeve.
I can tell you how he looking at it. I grew up around Italian people and Jewish people. I can tell you exactly how we looking at it.
What are we
How
doing
he
here?
is looking at both of those people, both of those players, Bradberry and CJ Gardner Johnson, are younger and can play for you and produce longer.
Yeah, but we can't be. Yeah, that it's Howie
Look,
Roseman. It's not. It's
Man,
not
you
me.
go get him
I ain't got
Kanye,
nothing
man.
against
You go
Jewish
get him
people for the way
Kanye,
they do
man.
things. Look, I got nothing
No, you go
against the
get him
Jewish community.
Kanye.
Look, I got nothing against them for the way they look. Their
You
business
being
practices are
anti-Semitic, man.
unrivaled. Their business practices are unrivaled and it's uncontested. They're the best business people in the world. They see things that most of us don't see, business wise. I know how they looking at this. They're both younger than Slay, can produce longer than Slay, and you're gonna get more for your money from both of them than Slay. They're not saying Slay ain't good. They're not saying that. They just realized at this point in his career, Slay's been in the league how many years? 10 years? Going on to 11? They ain't been in the league as long as him. They ain't got as much wear and tear on their body as him. They're younger and they can produce at a higher level for longer. Who am I going to pay? Am I going to pay these younger guys that are going to give me more? Or am I going to give this older guy money that's not going to be around as long, but I'm still going to be paying him dead money later on? Why am I going to do that? Tell me
Well,
I'm wrong.
I guess my thing is, about that too, is that, if Slay is going to test the market, and there's a certain amount of money that we get if he gets cut after a certain period of time, right? It's like sometime in June.
Yeah.
If and then it brings up what, 17 million on the cap,
26 over 2, yeah.
so something like that, right? So I'm wondering if that's what Howie Roseman is looking at, especially since Slay was like, "Hey, I'm not going to restructure my contract." I think maybe his thing was like, "Hey, if he restructures the contract, then we can only keep one."
Now
But
here's an idea though. Here's an
Wait.
idea though.
Go ahead.
What if he talks to Slay and say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna release you before that cap hit, but hold on. I'm gonna try to work out a new deal with you before you try to sign anywhere else." That's more
It ain't worth
friendly
it. It ain't
for the
worth it,
team.
Stu. We only get $3 million if we cut him. We get hit for like 20. He got like a $21 million cap hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting him would kill us. We have to
Yeah.
trade him and get the other team
See,
to
you
pick
know
up
what?
that
I'm glad you said that because I really didn't think about that part. Damn. I'm trying to figure out a way that he could try to fix it to where it ain't hurting us. And we can try to fit it on the cat.
Real quick, shout out to my guy D Dragon. He with a super chat, or I should say Cash App chat. He said, "Man, get your boy Stu, get your boy Stu." But now shout out to Dragon.
Because I'm trying to explore all avenues.
No. He was trying to stop you before you went too much in your Jewish
Oh no! When I talk about the Jewish community, I do not talk about them in a hateful manner. One of my best friends for over 30 years is Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish. One of my best friends for over 30 years. He's the one that hits me on a lot of this. That's what I'm saying.
I hear you. But yeah, the whole like I said, I found it really intriguing the way Josiah Anderson talked about, how he wanting to match Bradberry's, at least have an option to match it. And like I said, that CJ Gardner Johnson video where he was like with that sad song, pretty much saying goodbye. It made me feel some type of way, but again, there's been now more reports saying that, the Eagles are still in tune. We're still in play. It ain't going to be easy, but I still think, shout out to Howie trying to get Bradberry back, but ultimately CJ got to be your main thing because moving forward, we got 4 picks in the top 100 this year for the draft. Next year we'll have a bunch of comp picks, and we're going to be young. But CJ Gardner-Johnson is a 25-year-old guy that you want to lock up for as long as possible.
That's your Brian. That's our new Brian Dawkins right there. You can't let that guy walk out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a good safety group, kind of, like go get the first round draft pick. Maybe
You're cutting in and out again, BG.
Hold it closer, BG.
Hold on, I just got to the house. Let me come back in. I'll come back.
All right.
Hey, so Mike, when you read that Twitter about how they was talking to, have they been pursuing CJ since we heard it had kind of slowed down or what?
So the way they put it is as Wait, what'd you say? Does other people slow down, or did we? You're saying?
Did we? You think we slowed down, or you think we've been pretty much trying to move numbers the whole time, trying to get somewhere close?
Yeah, the way they're saying it is that he's still our top priority. The way I've read it is that he's still our top priority. And again, I said this on one of my last videos. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a 25-year-old dude. You know what I mean? Like, so the initial talk with Howie Roseman could have made him feel like they didn't have enough money. And so, him putting that video out there, like so many people were like, it's automatically he's gone because of that video and blah, blah, blah. And it's not a good sign. But, he could have woke up on the wrong side of the bed feeling like, dang, the Eagles don't love me like that. They haven't, so that video could have just been him overreacting. Again, these 25-year-old players, they be on social media. They tell you how you feel. So it could have been something like, man, I thought the conversation could have been going a lot smoother and faster with the Eagles. I feel like they're not going to sign me. And he makes that video. You know what I mean? Like, but all reporting since that video has been that he's still our top priority. And you hear that with him. You don't hear that with Javon Hargrave, right? There's not been a peep about the Eagles trying to get him back, right? But there's been so much rumblings about CJ Gardner-Johnson, and now the new rumble is about Bradberry. And that rumble comes in the mix of, well, Darius Slay might not be here anymore. So does that push Howie to the Bradberry thing? Is that Howie's mindset? If we get Slay back, then Bradberry's gone. If what changed? What? We didn't hear this pushing for Bradberry prior to the Darius Slay news, but we've always heard the CJ Gardner-Johnson talk, which I'm excited about because he a dog.
Absolutely.
Oh, hold on. First of all, I want to address two people. Which King of Agmar? You said CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's good, but he's not Brian Dawkins level. Okay, cool. Ask Brian Dawkins that, because I believe Brian Dawkins said that himself. And Dank Burrito called me Stuberg and asked it. So Judaism is a race and not a religion? No, but there are different sets of Jewish people, and each sect have different names. So you might want to update your knowledge about the Jewish religion.
With all that being said, just
giving that out there, putting that out there. There are Orthodox Jews, unorthodox Jews, Ashkenazi Jews. There are a lot of different types of Jewish people, and you might want to update your information on the different types of Jewish people in that religion. It's not a race. Yes, it is a religion. Sorry if you were unclear on that. Thank Burrito.
But on the CJ Gardner-Johnson thing, it's hard for some people to hear, being compared to Brian Dawkins because the length of what Brian Dawkins did for the Eagles and how much he meaned compared to a guy 1-year deal. But I think nobody's saying that he's better or him or that. Who's trying to say is like he's the closest thing. I'm not saying he's better
or on the same level. I'm saying he has that same type of impact that Brian Dawkins had in a defense where you could move Brian Dawkins around. He was a chess piece that you move anywhere. You could send him on the blitz. You can ask him to cover slot receiver. You can ask him to play back in the zone as a normal safety would. You can ask him to play in run defense and be in the box and stuff to run. You can move him anywhere on your defense. That's the impact that Brian Dawkins had. And offensive coordinators always had to sit there and think to themselves, okay, where is number 20? I need to avoid him. That's the kind of impact that CJ Gardner Johnson has, because you can move him anywhere on your defense and he can have an impact on the game or make a game-changing play. That is the type of person that I'm talking about. Nobody's saying he's at the B-Dog level. He ain't played that long or played as consistent as B-Dog, but he can have that type of, he is that kind of guy that has that kind of impact. And no, DB Cooper, I don't shut up. You can't stop me, fool. You just in the comment section. Get over it.
Look, just leave the comments. The comments are going to be the comments regardless. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But everybody in the comments is talking about your kitty cat, Cool C. What's the name of the cat?
His name is Shadow.
Nice. Hi, Shadow.
He's 19. He'll be 19 in April.
Sheesh. Nice.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's an old cat. Very old.
Hey, seen a lot of things. If Walls could talk, she would have a conversation like, you know what, this girl is crazy. I don't know what's wrong with her.
Exactly. I can see it. I can hear him. He's like, my mother is crazy.
Yeah, there's something wrong with her. Y'all need to get her.
And crazy.
You know what? Y'all she be talking to the walls. Y'all in the door need to form a pact to not let her out of this room right here.
Yeah, with that being said, we are a little over an hour and 24 minutes to be exact. I think, I was trying to wait for BG to get back in so he can, say what he got to say before he get out of here. But I think that's going to be all for today's episode. Again, we talked a lot about Bradberry, a lot about CJ, a lot about Slay. We, had a little sad moment. We reliving the Super Bowl again. I don't know why we brought it up and did it to us, but it is what it is. With that being said, we're going to be here every single Sunday at 7 p.m. doing the JJAANN live streams where we can interact with y'all. If you want to, all you got to do is click the link in the pinned comment section, sign up, use the promo code that is provided, and then join us next week. Some of y'all in the YouTube chat, y'all need to jump in and join us too, because I know y'all be wanting to say some stupid stuff too. I can see the stupid stuff y'all say in the comments. With that being said,
might as well say it live like I do.
Yeah, right. And next week we should have some answers. There's going to be players, as in Bradberry, CJ, Slay. Like, we're going to get some answers between Monday and Friday that we can have some really good topics on next Sunday. But
definitely.
With that being said, Smitty, you had something you wanted to say real quick?
Man, I just think tomorrow gonna be a good day, man. I don't know about Bradberry, but I swear, bro, I got a feeling CJ gonna be on that block, man. He gonna be signing them papers, man. But for some reason, I don't know. Like, when you said that shit about Atlanta taking Slay, I kind of feel like they got the money to pay him. They can give him everything he want and some more, and extend him for however many years he want with the price he wants. So, I mean, I hope Slay not going tomorrow, but we gonna see, man. It's gonna be interesting.
And again, the report came from somebody who's not the most reliable, but it's still, something to keep in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? I mean, he says stuff sometimes that's right, but it is what it is. With that being said, shout out to everybody in the building. Hit that like button on your way out. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out.
Yeah, peace.